Hello to all and welcome to this second edition of this wonderful conversation and inspiring conversation from the powerful and amazing book for our dearest, Anita Caprice, You, Your Own Universe. I am Mar Introini from Global Chair from G100 Global Networking, and I am delighted. It's really a pleasure. I don't see it as a work. I'm seeing it as a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to boost this kind of conversation that invite us to become different, to become owners of our lives, you, your own universe. But not just about this kind of self-help. No, really to impact the world from our individual action. And this book from Anita, this powerful and somehow extravagant book, because they show us tools and resources that is very difficult that you find all in one book. Last week, I was reflecting on three concepts, that there are wildness, freshnesses, and simplicity. We live like the sun. This is a wild world. All external impact that we receive in general is negative. But we are responsible to keep the freshness, to keep our mind fresh, our thoughts, our emotions. They have to be fresh. And from the complexity of the external world, we need to create the simplicity of good feelings, of good actions. And that is the message that I would like to leave you today. And before I give the floor with our lovely Anita, I will invite you just 1 minute to close your eyes and to listen. Wake up, please. Solfeggio, music 3968 zeta. This is not because I wake up creative today. No, this is the book. This is the book of You, Your Own Universe. Anita will explain us what it means and why I did that. Anita Caprice, G100 Global Chair, Honest and Wisdom, author of You, Your Own Universe, certified coach, founder of the movement Tap Into You, transformational life coach, poet, spoken word artist, lecturer, Michigan unemployment appeals advocate, and much more that we don't have time to say all Anita's skills, talents, and jobs. Anita, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Mar. This is just wonderful. I'm just so tickled pink. You know what I mean? I love you. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Anolia. I love you both for, spending your energy, your precious, pretty, precious, energetic energy with me. Mar, I'm Anita. What you see is what you get. I'm an energy gal. First and foremost, I am a mom of beautiful twin girls. Mom to beautiful sons-in-law, and grandma to beautiful, precious five. What can I say? I embrace the energy. And Bar, I love what you just said, the wildness, the freshness, and the simplicity. When you said wildness, that reminded me of our come as a child. Let that little girl come out. Let that little boy come out. That joy that we can experience before when that innocence, that pure innocence and that sage wisdom. that freshness, the freshness. We are nature. We are nature. We are human. We are divine, where there's imperfection right inside, delving in that imperfection. There is perfection, the nature, the freshness. Each and every day, we can choose to think how fresh we want our circumstance, our situation, our sphere of influence to be. And then the simplicity. I always say, kiss it. Kiss it, my sister. Kiss it, my brother. Keep it simple, sweetheart. It is one thing that I have learned. I shared with the beautiful soul beautifuls prior to coming on, is that the more I learned, because I love learning about energy. I love learning about how we're connected with the universe, Yahweh, God, the creator, however you want to say it. I love learning about this. And the more I learn about energy, the more I learn about our connection, the more I learn about these beautiful universal laws, the more I'm excited to see and hear that it's all the same. And it's so beautiful for me. I mean, I'm just so tickled pink at this 65 years of age, alluringly single and marvelously mature, to know, oh my God, it is one. For me, my belief, it is one. I was sharing with my daughters, and it's all about our belief that I now do. I learned about solar water, which has been around for years. I didn't know anything about it. It's all in divine porch time, love, and order, right? So anyway, I found out about this solar water. And I was sharing with my oldest daughter. I said, baby, I gave them the blue jars. I said, fill the water, put the water in there, put it in the sun, and let the beautiful healing energy of the sun go into that water. I said, now I'm gonna share with you the issues in my back. And I think last time we came here, I was talking about the issues in my back, and I'm watching the timer. I got you. The issues in my back, and then I was having an issue in my left arm that was just really so my range of motion was very limited. And I said, sweetie pie, I'm gonna let you know. It's either my belief that this water is healing, or it actually does. Whichever way, I have no issues in my back. I have no issues in my arm. I got full range of motion, and it's not even pain. So, your own universe, it's liberating, it's free. The more I realize how I'm responsible for my life, the more I realize, hey, and I got this. Oh my God. It's such a freeing, it's so liberating that it just makes you just want to just shout it to the rooftop.
As Anita say, our thoughts are a form of energy, and they are like magnets of vibrational activity, tuned with the universe. That is the book. Tanya, what do you think about this? Do you like this book?
Yes,
You're excited, yeah.
I do. I do. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, audience. I do. Tanya Mattox from Michigan. I'm a certified life coach, certified etiquette professional, and I love helping women uncover their best selves. And this book, You, and what Dr. Anita explained is just so phenomenal. Mari, you talked about freshness, and this is definitely fresh for me. Coming, however, we're nurtured spiritually or how we're introduced, we have those concepts and ideas. I approach this book, which is stated as being a manual, it's a reference manual. And I am enjoying it because I am able to look at different aspects of my experience, my daily activities, and it helps me to think more intently and be more mindful of what's going on and how does that relate, and the way the chakras were experienced. And as Dr. Adidas mentioned, your thoughts, that's what creates. So this reference manual is very good. I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to delving deeper in different aspects of it in our conversation today. I'm really looking forward to talking about a few things.
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you for your reflection. Enolia from Angola, our dear author as well. They're all authors today. All authors of books. Enolia, shortly we are going to have you both in a similar program. In July, we are going to have Enolia. So Anita, don't suffer. There will be competition. I prevent you. Fine.
Bring it on, sis.
Let me tell you, there's never competition with my sisters. I love it. There's room for all of us. There are 8 billion people in this world. Trust me, there's room for everyone.
Try. Well, Anita live in US. You live in Africa. I'm sure the market of the client now to buy the book will be, the readers will be different. Enolia, please go ahead.
My name is Enolia Fodi, and I'm coming to you from Angola, Africa, and it's so beautiful to be here. I am a conscious transformational coach as well as a medicine woman, modern day. I love taking that ancient knowledge and presenting it and framing it and packaging it in modern times so that we can learn how to celebrate ourselves. And so I'll leave it at that because we all dabble in a little bit of everything. But what I love this book, Mara, you talked about the wildness, the freshness, and the simplicity. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the simplicity. Because the beauty about this book is that to understand the human dynamics of energy and to understand what we have as we walk with our bodies is a complex system. And you breaks it down into that simplicity. To understand the chakra system is to unravel the complexity of us and to understand how to work with the various aspects that you has introduced when we talk about our mudras and all of the little extras that you could present into that and the crystals and everything. I mean, what you're doing is you're taking something that's a complex map and you're unraveling it to its simplicity. So take the time to read and understand because the impact, although the mapping is simplistic, the impact is great. The impact is significant. The impact is high. To have clear and balanced chakras is to change your mood, to balance you, to bring alignment into you, but alignment as well into the universe. So the tips that are given here, the thoughts that are given here, the explanations of how negatively a negative impact can happen and a positive impact can happen. And when you're balanced and you see that positive impact, that you're in alignment, truly, truly, truly is significant. It makes a difference in our day. So I loved you because you revealed a bit of that universe in its simplicity and just showed the map of how we can care for ourselves and how we can have an impact in our lives and align.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Enolia. Let's go back with this Solfeggio music 396HZ. Just reading from the book. Align with our base chakra weakened. We came from a place from the head, ego, intellectual comprehension, evaluation, instead of the heart. Unable to clarify or understand our purposes and creativity. The floor is all yours now to explain us, please, Anita, about all this. We are so excited to listen to your wisdom in relation to this.
Thank you so much, Mar. Tanya, I just love that that you refer to this book as a reference because that's what it's intended. So thank you for that confirmation. The ADLs, and you mentioned the intention. Yes, our thought, that is the center of influence. Nothing occurs without a thought. And even with that thought, you mentioned the intention. Our thought alone has power. The thought with the intention brings on the greater power. It's like we're energy. We're let me see if I can remember. There's energy. The levels of energy is chemical, mechanical, electrical, thermal, nuclear. And within the nuclear, there's another one. Yeah, escaped me right now. Let me look in here. The nuclear has fission and fusion. And fission is that energy that isn't of itself. It is singular. Although it's just one energy, there's just many ways to combine this energy. And the fusion, when we fuse the energy together, it said that it is 4 or 5 times more powerful. So when we have thought with intention, that is 4 and 5 times more powerful than thought alone. Because and what I mean by thought alone, I just for instance, because we all have, and that's one thing about you too, it's also to bring in our shadow. Yes, we are human and divine, but at times we have to come to grips too that we do have shadows. We do have, I know for me, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. There are times I do have bitterness in the outskirts of my heart. There are times that, yes, sometimes I may be a little jealous. Yes, because that is human nature. That does not mean that I want to impose harm or want harm to be to be for someone else. But the intention is to be authentic. We will not be authentic until we grasp that, yes, we grasp those imperfections, and not just that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, but grasp that yes, I do have destructive, negative thought. That is a true, that is so, it is a realism. And once we embrace that, then we can love on that. Those intentions, like you said, Tanya, the intention behind the thought, which is I can go into the electrical, the brain, the stem, the limbic, the mammalian, go into all of that, the center of emotion, but I'm not going to do that because for not right now. So the intention in bringing all of this together, and the intention is to thine own self be true, to thy own self, to know that when someone is in front of me and it may disturb me, it ain't about them. For me, and what I do, I'm not here to tell anybody how to think. I'm not here to say, hey, you should do this. I'm only sharing information, and it's embraced or it's not. And because everything is in divine proportion, time, love, and order. What it is what it is. I know one time, maybe 20 years ago, I may not have embraced this. So it's not for me to come here and tell you how you are to do something. We're all grown. Get nobody to really tell me anything. So I'm just here to share information. The intention, the competing with. Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with competing with. That brought me to when I was in a competition with Women of Heart Awards. And we were competing for this title. Now, that's when I really understood the energy, the one energy. And that's when I really understood the difference between competing against and competing with. In this competition, we were competing with, because there were times like we may have had to do a video and put it on some type of format. And all I had to do was reach out and say, hey, you guys, I don't know how to do this format. You had sisters, we're all competing for the same thing. Sisters come and say, hey, I got you. Let me send it to me and I'll work it for you. I've had sisters reach out and say, I'm not sure how to word this in my delivery. We reach out, hey, I got you. You want to do a practice. So there is a huge difference between competing against and competing with, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with competing with someone. That keeps things fresh. Like Mara said, that keeps things exciting. That keeps things on our toes that we want to progress and progress together. I love when Enolia, and I see she knows because I say Angola. I call her the mother of Angola. So if I get confused, you guys, and you hear me say Angola, I mean Enolia, because that's how I look at. That's how that's how my spirit sees her. So that's how. So the universe, unraveling the map. I love those words. That's such beautiful language. Unraveling the map, because I think of Yehoshua. I think of Jesus. I think of the teachings. I think of keeping it simple. We've become so complex that we believe that our human nature, our being is so more intelligent than the other lesser animals, because we're animals in the highest degree. We're spiritual and and our humanness, we're animals. This you is just to say, hey, take a look at your own universe. That's all. Don't make it a big deal like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Oh, I got to go see a psychiatrist. Oh Lord, I got to do this. I'm missing the boat. Have fun with it. And I always share, I've learned, I've learned again. I've learned at my stage, in this stage of my life, easy peasy, nice and breezy. Keep it simple. Have fun with it. I can have fun knowing that, hey, yeah, there's a part of me that think I'm not enough. You know what I mean? And one time I never would have mentioned, I never would have admitted that. Never. Because I said, well, I don't want nobody knowing that, stepping on my Achilles. They see that weakness in me. No, I love that. I love the part of me that feels that I'm not enough, because I know that I can tap into my universe and tap into that part of me that said, hey, beautiful, you a bag of chips and then some, because you are co-partnering with the universe. So that the other part of you, we can embrace it. We can love on it. So you, and then the chakras. The chakras are merely, I call them galaxies. You, your own universe, galaxies within us that are replicating the energy of our thought. Hey, the energy of our thought. So it's not that the energy, it's not that the chakras transform the energy, the thought. It is the thought that transforms the chakras, which produces the energy, which it emanates through us. So the chakra, along with the bodies too, because the like what Mar said earlier, thinking with our heart, over our head, that chakra, the base chakra, is aligned with the soul body. That's because our soul is so connected with our personality. At one time when we were pure energy, which we are, but before we came into form, our soul was so up there with our spirit, higher self, higher consciousness, unconsciousness, super consciousness, however you want to say it. So now, because we've pulled it down with our limbic system, our center of emotion, we've pulled that soul closely down to our personality. It needs healing. So, go ahead, Mark.
Anita, competition, not against anyone, competition with, or competition with ourselves to be better. And to make a summary, then you say changing our thought. If there are negative, we could transform. We could really have the power to transform ourselves. I would love, Anita, if you enter in politics and you apply all that principles to politics. I would love if you decided one day to be candidate, because it will be perfect. This is what they need. Competition not against, competition with, and to change negativity into positive thoughts. Enolia, what do you think about that? What Anita has said.
That would be very interesting. And I think that if anyone could do it, Dr. Anita could. Because what happens is that many people don't understand their own universe. And that's what I love about you and everything, is that the explanation is simplistic, and that, we have to take time to understand ourselves. We have to take time to understand what is our makeup, and how it's almost like taking inventory of who you are, how you think, what you do, why you do it, what motivates you, what are the limiting beliefs. Understanding yourself in its totality, it's like gaining sovereignty over yourself. So, yeah. Oh, I can't hear anything. I hear you. Oh, everyone's on mute.
Blah blah blah, but we cannot hear each other. Let me show you something, because it's very important. It's part of the book, but it's part of the amazing resources that Anita delivered, of music, of drawings, paintings, and let me before we go with Tanya, I would love to show this because it's so inspired. So then, if Tanya, you would like to make comments, or Anita, please, in relation to this. What that means, Anita? What is this? That it was our inspiration for the banner, and it's so powerful, so dynamic, so colorful. What is that? Tanya, before Anita, let's keep the mystery. Let's go with Tanya, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Anulia, for what you expressed. And Dr. Anita, I'm glad that to have heard your sharing. You mentioned our thoughts and that actually having the impact on the chakra and on how we're feeling and how we're emanating, how we're acting out of what those thoughts are. That is definitely very powerful and it really informs our actions. And knowing that we can do that, and there is a big impact that we can have. I'm thankful that you mentioned the shadows and the negativity that's there. It does confirm that we have need of the divinity and that other uh, higher power, and with Jesus or whomever you decide to, or whomever you refer to. And that is very important because you can grow and you can transform. And knowing that you are working with, you're not just by yourself trying to act out and to become better. You have need of something else. And it's okay to embrace that. I can definitely relate to saying, no, I don't want anybody to know that about me. I'm not really good in that area. I did not have a good thought. We have to get that together. So that was just really liberating. It was comforting to read those things and to understand that about me and my own universe and what to do here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Anita, it's your turn to explain this beautiful drawing. Is easy to explain it or not?
Okay, yeah, well, that drawing represents energy and motion, because energy is the capacity to do the thing, the ability to change, to change things, the capacity to do the work, the ability to change things. That image is also reflective of the rainbow, the promise of the Creator, the promise of God. That image is also reflected of the energies that are within us. The yellow representing healing. Yellow represents enthusiasm. That is the color of our solar plexus and also our positive body. That blue, because I don't see it anymore, but the blue is reflective of a chamber of our heart, the heart chakra, which is pink, green, and blue, because it has 3 chambers. It also is reflective of our throat chakra, the blue, the blueprint, our manner of expression. The red represents our root base chakra and also our soul body. Trying to think what else was in there. I think there was even black in there. Black represents the color of the universe. Black is in there to say, hey, black is not all darkness and evil and bad and all that kind of. Out of this darkness, out of the void became the light. Yeah, the little bit of darkness. White represents the purity of things, the balance of white and black. White and black are not colors. Everything else in there are colors with the exception of black and white. Then you have pink. We equate red with the color of love. The red is the color of passion, be it hate or desire. Pink is the color of love, living life through rose-colored glasses. Let me see. We have purple, the almost the indigo. That's the brow chakra, the wisdom, our sage wisdom. That's within that pure innocence of that little one inside. And then you have the darker blue, the ruach, representing spirit, representing emotion, representing our moods, being moody. So this thank you, Mar. That image is a reflection of absolutely everything that's within us. The colors of the rainbow, and like I said, the color of the promise of God, that we are human and divine. That's the promise. That's the promise. And I did want to say, as far as politics, I was a precinct delegate years ago. I ran for and was voted for precinct delegate in my neighborhood and did some changes. So yes, I did that. And I do want to stress too, real quickly, not everything is destructive negative. There is positive negative, and that positive negative is attached to our sacral, which is our emotion as well as our limbic, the mammalian system in our brain. So when we and that's why I come to, I try to stress that so that it could just be out there. Protective negative is when that you get into some type of situation and you're not feeling it. That's protective negative. You don't want to get rid of that. You want to you want to grow that protective negative because it protects us. That's yeah. So we for just to get an idea of just kind of embracing that. Okay, not all negative is bad negative.
Tanya, what do you think about that? That negativity, that positive negativity, that is not a contradiction. Have you juggled with that in your life?
Yes, I have. I definitely have. And you can feel it. And it is a protection. It's a caution. It keeps, when you reflect, if you've ever experienced it and couldn't explain it initially, then you reflect on it and you see, oh, well, if I had forged ahead and not paid attention to that negative, I could have been embroiled in an altogether different scenario. So the protective negative is very good. And I'm so glad that there is a distinction made between negative not being all bad. It does keep you from harm oftentimes. And it's good for us to evaluate that. I've had that in terms of having an invitation to do something or go somewhere and just not being comfortable with the person and not following through with it because I'm paying attention to the protective negative, and then finding out that had I forged ahead, again, using the same language, if I had gone ahead with that interaction with that individual, things may not have had a positive positive outcome. It would not have worked well. So it does help a lot to know that. I think that's really a strong indication for children, anyone who's a mother and is training or has trained or taught children. And I've had the experience with mine of telling them, no, you cannot go, you cannot do something. And I don't have a reason for it, but no, you cannot, because I'm not feeling that. There's something there that's prohibiting me from telling you yes. And then after the event or the occurrence, then we can see why. It was a protection for them, and thereby giving me peace of mind as well as a parent that they did not go ahead with that. So it's very important that we pay attention to those feelings and what's going on. It's interesting to be able to relate those experiences with the chakra system, which is a new body of knowledge for me, and I'm appreciating it. And it brings a lot of the past experiences and things that I'm doing day to day now. It gives me a different perspective, and it gives me an opportunity to stop and evaluate to see what's going on. And this book, the reference manual aspect, yes, the reference, because now I can see things in a different light, and it's very beneficial.
Before I go to Enolia, Anita, is a book for intellectuals? Is a book for us that we are reading all the time? Or just for everyone? Everyone is able, everyone that try to tune in positivity can read that or not? Or we need to have a basis, in intellectual basis to understand your book.
No, thank you, Mar. Excellent. Thank you, Tanya. No, this book is for everyone. As a matter of fact, Sanja, bless her heart, she indicates in in the endorsement, how it's broken down. And I think someone said it earlier, how it's broken down for, even she says, even children can read this book and understand it. And that's what I wanted. I wanted, yes, an intellectual to read it and say, okay, yeah, I do. I get something out of it. For everyone, I do understand, because of how I wanted it written, I may have some scorekeepers. There may be some people that write us, oh, this, this is so elementary, which will be the ultimate compliment for me. If someone comes with that thought, because this is not for, it's for everyone, and I shouldn't say it's for the person that is learned, and it's for the person that is a neophyte. It's for the person that didn't even say, hey, look, I ain't even into listen, I don't know what this stuff is about. It's for that person as well. That's why I interjected spiritual energy, because energy is just one. That's why I interjected, I'm going to say, for lack of a better word, spirituality with science, because I wanted that interdependent relationship, so that people can see, yeah, this is not just a spiritual philosophy or some way of believing. There's scientific backup for this, to give that extra, maybe I will consider this, maybe I will kind of think on it, as opposed to just dismissing it, saying, well, that's not my religious belief, or that's not my spiritual belief, because it is information to help us identify even those situational awareness things, the subtleties of life, that, like Tanya said, that being aware of that protective negative, that is a situational awareness occurrence, where I'm able to say, oh, I see it, I feel it. I'm in tuned enough with myself to recognize that this is something that I need not to dismiss, or even some things, like thoughts we may have, because we have like 60,000, they said they filter, so many that even go through our mind that we're not even aware of. You simply just helps us to become aware of the beautiful who we are. And it's just plain and simple.
Thank you, Anita. Enolia, spirituality met science, and we find a new road for living and a new road for personal resilience. What do you think about that, Enolia?
It's wonderful in the respect that, now the scientists can actually see the validation of what's already been there spiritually, that's been there forever. If that rational part needs to understand and experience this, it can be explained, and it's a beautiful thing, because they come together, they meet, and then they can complement each other. A lot of times we look at things, it has to be one or the other, and there is an and factor. It's like the yin and the yang, the positive, negative, good, bad. Our strive is to be centered. And to be centered is to be able to open your heart and embrace everything, and to see it from many perspectives. That's why there's 360 degrees, 180 degrees, you might see it scientifically, and 180 degrees, you might see it spiritually. They complement each other, making up the whole. So the beauty of that, to me, is that means that they formed a torus. That means that they formed that beautiful energetic field that we embody, that's called totality, and they found their balance. And so, to me, it's beautiful.
For me, thank you, Enolia. For me, is tap into ancient wisdom, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because
it is.
It's like playing, dancing with what we have, the resources that we already have, isn't it? Let me read a very short part of the book, and this is for a question for Anita. What is this universal personal energy, which I coin unipersonal energy? Is it our universe within, which includes our form and formless energy, known as the chakras and 10 body system, the main focus of this reference material? We are energy, the capacity to do the work and the ability to change things, the ability to change things. Our universal energy within creates a rainbow of colors around us called the aura, attracting physical matter energy, emotional energy of others to us. Is one of the most beautiful parts of the book, you know, the capacity to change, to make magic. Please, Anita, explain us this.
Yes, yes. It's, it's all one. And as I had mentioned earlier, the different types of energy, because I had just recently just researched, and I'm talking about the chemical, mechanical, electrical, nuclear, thermal. Then there's another energy, conscious, our conscious energy. And that's the energy that is the pure form, that pure essence, that pure form of energy that flows and directs the energy. There's a saying that energy flows where thought goes. It's not the other way around. Thought goes where energy flows. Energy flows where thought goes, that we are able to transform. Thermodynamics is energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can be changed. And for instance, as an example, just recently, I went to Menards, and I just love this. I went to Menards and to get something, and I was lost. I didn't know where the item, what I was looking for, some hooks to hang some things in my dining room. Well, I saw this young man at a counter, and he was talking on the phone. So I went up to him and I stood there. Now, talk about shifting the thought. I stood there, and this young man didn't acknowledge me. Now, at one time, and I'm being real, at one time, I would have come into the thought, okay, this young man, here I am. Okay, one, he was Caucasian. So I might have said, okay, it's a racial thing. I might have jumped into that. Then I would have gone into, okay, this young man is ignoring me. And at one point I would have said, excuse me, not nasty, but I would have said, excuse me, I'm just looking for some hooks, carry on your conversation, but I just need something for an instant, just take that moment. But so I changed my thought because of something else that I just learned. So I stood there, and what I did, I said, okay, I'm going to change my perception of how I'm thinking. So when I'm standing there, in my mind, I'm saying, okay, there is a reason for this. I trust this process. This is all in divine proportion, time, and in order. I love where I am on sacred ground. I love this young man. And when he got off the phone, he finally got off the phone, he came to me and apologized profusely. He said, ma'am, I am so sorry. I had been on the phone with this person for I don't know how long, for at least 45 minutes, and I was so frustrated. I was trying to help them and get them off the phone, but they weren't receptive, and I was just frustrated. He said, I am sorry again. What is it that you like? And that young man showed me where I needed to go to get the item. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transformed. Energy is thought. I changed my intention around that thought from being impatient and judgmental, taking it personal, oh, it's against me, an affront, to saying, no, let me change this here. Let me develop some patience. Let me understand that this young man is engaged and involved in something that for whatever reason, he needs to stay focused. And that's what I mean as far as, and I hope this relates to what you just said, Mark. That's what I mean as far as our thought. Nothing forms before a thought. Absolutely nothing. Every situation that we encounter, it's like the coach, we're all coaches here. There are 5 elements. I first must realize a change is needed. I can change it. I then must have the idea that I'm responsible for the change. I am willing to make the change. I am capable of make the change, and I am ready to make that change. What does that mean? And all in all, in essence, I'm responsible for what's out here. I'm responsible for who I interact with, because my aura, my energy is bringing that energy to me. And it's about me. So what I did is I cleaned my thought about what I was thinking about that young man and changed the whole dynamic.
Please vote for Anita. She is our perfect candidate to transform politics. It's the only hope that we have. We are coming to an end. We are going to end with a beautiful poem from Anita. We couldn't resist. We wanted to change, but we need it. So we are going to end that way. So please, Enolia and Tanya, a couple of minutes, wrap up your thoughts, your comments, your beautiful energy for you, for us, and for the one who are looking at us.
So I just want to share that when you hear a powerful woman speak and the knowledge base that is coming from this woman, then you understand that what she has to say is important. So you cannot miss you, because the power base and the knowledge and the depth, okay, we're not scratching the surface here, we're talking deep, is so powerful. You is just an extension of who she is. So you have to get you.
Thank you, Enolia. I love you, sis.
Love you too.
Give your thanks there. This is wonderful. And thank you, Mar. I'm glad we have this platform and this time together. I appreciate you, sisters, and really appreciate you. Again, this has been very expansive for me in my thinking and in my heart. And I'm excited about the reconciliation and the identification of the coming together of science and spirituality. We cannot negate and leave one alone and anticipate that we will have peace. So I'm really thankful, and I'm enjoying it and look forward to just using it in my day-to-day life. And this is very good. I look forward to what you leave us with today.
Thank you, Tanya. A mantra from the book. I am worthy, I am deserving, I am loved, I am loved. I am perfectly guided with each step I take. The thought I may create and manifest my heart desires and fulfills the need of my soul urge. Wherever I am is where I am to be. I am grateful for the good that is coming. I am thankful for the good I already have. I am that. I am.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. I love you. Thank you, Mar. I love you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Anita, before we go with your poem, please. This is the book, Your Own Universe.
Yes, and it's a book. Oops.
Yes,
Sorry.
and this is you could find all the tips for this music in the book, as this one that we have started with it, and this one would be solfeggio that will end this session. Anita, the floor is all yours with your poem. Enolia, Tanya, thank you so much. See you
Thank
next
you, Mara. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. Okay, wonderful. This is, I just found this. It was written in July of 2020 at 1:18, and I just found this, and it's called Should Have Been. And we were talking about energy. Should have been. How often have you heard you should have been? It's meant as a compliment, or is it? To not be what you should have been is actually being not who you are, according to whom? Are we ever satisfied and qualify who we are, what we are, quantify what we possess? Is it less than the power to be and believe? You should have been. It's saying you're not who you're supposed to be. In whose reality? Are we talking unconditional acceptance or reflecting on inspections of the memory we were taught to perceive unlike the original of you and me? It should have been success. It should have been a blessed rise up to your potential in an exponential capacity. Okay, if I come to think like you, who thinks I should have been, am I being true to the one and only, the she who solely imprints on this earth the path designed by the universe? Because I've not reached the should have been, does that make me a failure or simply a has been, one who floated on missing the boat? When it's said to me, I should have been, I measure the equation of the vibration, an innocent, unknowing sentiment that lacks a true compliment. And I answer, our subconscious is a powerful compensation of. So next time when someone says you should have been, share the revelation. What I should have been, I already am. Thank you.